It's quite hard to imagine how real change would take place that would allow a parliament to move from a setup for some past age to now, particularly when all of the technology now actually exists for a profoundly different way of working. Although there would be downsides to that because you'd lose the organic, connection. But when you look at technology now, it is actually possible for parliaments to work in profoundly different ways and still have probably even more connection than we have now when we're in a building where we're quite separate. I don't know whether it would be organic or whether it would be instant, but I suspect that it would happen because for the same reason that phone meetings and video meetings became legal during the pilot strike. Up until then, a meeting had to be held in person, but when the pilot strike was on and business, boards couldn't meet, the law was changed that allowed people to meet by phone and by video conference. If something like the coronavirus struck so that it wasn't actually safe for us to go and shake 20,000 hands and then come to Canberra and sit in the petri dish and then go forth, and we stopped meeting because for some reason, then I suspect there would be alternatives found very, very quickly, because the alternatives do exist. They don't exist in our practice. The Parliament would have to change the rules to do that. But I suspect, if I was being really honest, that organic change would be very slow. And if it does happen, it will happen because of a pilot strike, a fuel emergency, a pandemic, something that actually says you can't do that anymore and therefore opens up all these other options. It's complex though, because one of the things that should be advantageous about meeting in the one place is the organic transfer of ideas, but we actually don't do that much anyway because we're all so busy and it doesn't kind of work. So you'd have to build into such a system other ways for politicians to actually get together and do the organic transfer of views. But it's certainly, if you look at it now, and you did a productivity analysis of it, you'd find a hell of a lot of money which is spent on traditions which no longer necessarily serve what they used to serve. It was the only way that it could be done when the parliaments first formed. And you look at other areas too. You look at other models in the Scandinavian bloc, for example. They have several months off, so the parliament actually breaks and they actually go about their lives. So they have a part of their life which is more normalised than a politician's life, and there's some advantage in that. But we'll see. Organic change is very difficult in parliaments, particularly ones that are steeped in tradition. Sudden change, more likely.